Hello buddy, this is Jonathan and I'll be going through the flow layout. So basically what flow layout is that it's going to apply components in a row. So this could include buttons, some panels, anything that will be any components, any thing that I've added to the application, and it's going to be added as a row. If it runs out of space and it's and the next part of the space is too small, then it's going to add a new space on the next line, so it should technically go on the next line if there's not enough space to display the content on that space of the application. So I'm going to show you guys an example. So basically I have created a simple panel which all of the buttons are inside of. As you guys can see, the buttons has to be within this pink background panel, and it ran out of space. We're on number 5, so number 6 is on the next line, number 7 is on the next line, and once you go on to 10 it will start a new line again. Once you go to 14, and it will start from a new line again. So basically once it ran out of space, that means it will go to the next line. Okay, so over here I got the main function, which is basically will be what will allow me to run the application. Over there is JFrame is frame equals to new JFrame. This allows me to create a new window. Then over there I've got frame.set default close operations, JFrame.exit and close to close the application when we click on the X button. And we also got frame.set size 500 by 500, which is the size of the which is the actual size of the application. Over there I got frame.set out, and I got new layout, and there's also FlowLayout dot leading, which is everything must be on the left, so that means it will start from the left. So for example, the buttons will go to the left instead of going to the center or going to the right. So I can obviously change this to go to the center if I want it to go to the center, and this will just display in the center, right? This panel will be displayed in the center, and I can also change it to be on the trailing, which would be over the right, right? Yes, as you guys can see. This is how come we'll be able to position it at different places, but I liked it to be for leading, so I'm just going to leave it at leading. But it has been caps. I don't know why it has been caps, but it does, and everything is right again. But I liked it in the center, I'm not gonna lie. I keep changing it, but yes, let's go for center, because I want the panel and the content to go into the center, as you guys can see over here. And you guys can start clicking on these buttons. It won't do anything, it's just to show what the flow layout really is all about. So yeah, we'll be able to position it in different places. Over there is the spacing. So for example, if I set them both to being zeros, then what we'll see is that they will be touching together, I do believe. But everything is within this pink panel, so it'll be quite hard to see. But I'm going to change everything to be in the frame, so I'm going to add it to the frame instead of to the panel in a minute. So over there I've got J panel, which means create a new panel. Then I set for the first size for the panel. Then over there I set for color for the background for the panel. Then I have basically set the panel to have the flow out. Over there I have added the panel to have the buttons, as you guys can see. And over there is frame.add panel. So I've got panel.add new J button, so this allows me to create a new button within the panel, and over there allows me to add the panel to the frame. As you guys will see, it is now in the frame. What I also have is frame.set visible, which allows me to be able to show to the end user the application. If it is not set, then that means we won't be able to see what is being displayed on the actual application, because we won't be able to see it because it's not visible. So we do have to assign this every time when you're making a GUI. But now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid of the panel by adding a comment to it, so that way I can show you guys the other thing about it. Okay, cool. So now if we just change this one to being a frame, Control C, Control V, Control V, Control V. Just a couple more times. close that annoying pop-up. And I don't think we need this anymore because we added the buttons to the actual frame this time. Okay, so now if I click onto F5, as you guys can see, now the buttons are kind of in the center, and the thing as the screen is, it'll be able to display the content, more of the content, as you guys can see. But the smaller it is, it will start a new line. So depending on how small it is, it might start like in multiple lines, as you guys can see. So for example, if it was like a size of a mobile phone, it may display like, hold on. Yeah, that seems like a more mobile phone sort of style. As you guys can see, it will be displaying 3 lines, whereas if it was a desktop app, it will only display it in 1 line. So that's pretty nice. So I'm going to go back to where we did this one. We'll be able to give it some spacing. If I give them both 0 zeros, that basically means that they'll all be stuck together. That means they'll be together, like having a hug, for example. There won't be any spacing at all. But we want some spacing, so you guys can add spacing to, I believe this is the, what is this one? This is the one to add spacing between the first row and the second row, and it's spacing for the second and third one, and so on. So if I change one to being a 10, as you guys will see, the first row as well as the second row will have some spacing. See? And if you guys want to have space between the first button as well as the second one, so instead of the same row, and we don't want them to be stuck together, you guys can go back over there and just change one to being a 10 as well. And now as you guys can see, there's now spacing on the first line. So we just won't be able to see them being stuck together if you guys not a big fan of that styling. So yeah, we can just make it smaller. It would just be, so the smaller it is, basically, for more lines it will create, because 4 it will be on a new line, as 4 cannot be fit onto the same row as where number 3 is at. So he has to create a new one in order to fit in the actual content. So if I close out of it, this is basically it really. What you guys can also do is change where it's going to be positioned, to the right or to the center or to the left of the screen. So for example, to add it to the right, we have to do like trailing, and that should technically add the buttons to the right, as you guys can see. Before we have it in the center, now what you guys can now do is change it to be on for leading by just typing down leading, and it's allow you to see it in the leading, so it should be basically on for left, as you guys can see. If we change it to being on the center, then you guys will be able to see it in the center. So for example, now it should technically be in the center now, as you guys can see, and now you guys can start pressing on these buttons, like so. That's pretty nice. So press 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, press 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, press 5, 5, 5. So they don't do anything, they're just broken buttons. But yeah, it works pretty nice. Cool. So I'm going to go through one more time what is a flow layout, then before I end this video. So flow layout, place components in a row, size at the preferred size. If a space is too small, the layout class uses the next available horizontal row. So anyway guys, if you like this video, please put a like and please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.